From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre isn't allowed to speak in the House of Commons today as his public feud with Foreign Affairs Minister Joly spills into a second day. The Speaker delivered the penalty after asking the opposition leader to withdraw his accusing Joly of pandering to supporters of the terrorist organization Hamas. Joly calls Poilievre a hypocrite.
He cozies up to groups like Diagolon, who spread neo-fascist ideology across this country. Why does he denounce their anti-Semitism as well?
Poilievre accused Joly of refusing to condemn anti-Semitism in Canada in a bid to score political points for what he called her desire to run for the Liberal leadership. Joly accused Poilievre of gaslighting and playing politics on a day that was supposed to respect the victims of last year's October 7th Hamas attacks. Federal and provincial politicians are denouncing what they say was hateful rhetoric at a pro-Palestinian rally last night in Vancouver. A crowd of hundreds chanted death to Canada, the U.S., and Israel, while some in the group burned Canadian flags. The protest was organized by the pro-Palestinian group Samadoun, which Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has pledged to list as a terror entity if his party forms government. Former fashion mogul Peter Nygard has been denied bail as he appeals his sexual assault convictions and 11-year prison sentence. The Toronto judge dismissing the bail application says Nygard's appeal appears to be weak and he poses a flight risk as he faces charges in other jurisdictions. Floridians living near America's Gulf Coast have been told to head for higher ground in advance of Hurricane Milton's arrival as early as tomorrow evening.
Grocery stores are quickly running out of water bottles and non-perishable food items. Many are running short on ice, and that's where Becky Oldfield comes in.
It's the cheapest ice in town.
Her ice business is on fire thanks to a machine that cranks out 40 pounds every 8 minutes.
No, I don't see us running out, and we're open 24 hours.
To help victims of Hurricane Milton keep their food cold if the power goes out. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Tampa.
Canadian AI pioneer Yoshua Bengio says he was delighted to hear fellow computer scientist Geoffrey Hinton has won the Nobel Prize for Physics. Bengio was a grad student when Hinton made several of his machine learning breakthroughs in the 1980s.
It made me really excited about working on neural networks because it not only brought concepts from physics into AI, which is really cool, but it also brought a broader, maybe more important idea, which is in the same way that in physics, we are able to explain what is going on with a few simple mathematical equations. We could do the same to understand intelligence.
Hinton shares this year's Nobel Prize for Physics with Princeton University researcher John Hopfield. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the NHL's regular season kicks off tonight in North America with 3 games in the United States. 6 Canadian teams begin the season tomorrow, with Ottawa playing their first game Thursday. As Canadian Press national hockey writer Josh Clipperton explains, there's a lot of momentum for the NHL heading into this season.
A season that saw record attendance, record revenue, point totals we haven't seen in generations. Connor McDavid, Nikita Kucherov both hitting 100 assists. Austin Matthews getting to 69 goals, getting so close to 70.
The Buffalo Sabres and New Jersey Devils opened the season in Prague last week. Both National League Division Series are now best-of-3 affairs. The New York Mets are hosting Philadelphia for Game 3 right now. The late game pits San Diego against Los Angeles. The AL Series resume tomorrow. And legendary pitcher Louis Tiant has died at age 83. He threw a complete game in Boston's 5-4 win over Cincinnati in Game 4 of the 1975 World Series. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.